Winning is a culture at Broad Run High School. And Mitch Griffis, well, he's a winning football player. The 5'10", 190-pound quarterback has a long list of accolades. First team All-Loco, first team All-Region, first team All-Conference quarterback, and then the Offensive Player of the Year for both the conference and the region. It's no less than what you'd expect after a year in which Griffis threw for 2,600 yards and 31 touchdowns, and then ran for 260 yards and 7 more touchdowns. But he's still missing something. A banner. My name is Varun Shankar, and on this episode of the Technical Fowl, I sat down with Mitch and talked about his senior year, some great moments from the past, and much more. I'm joined now by Mitch Griffis of Broad Run High School. Mitch, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. All right, it's your last season as a Broad Run Spartan. How are you feeling?
It's tough being a Broad Run fan for 10 years now since my dad has taken over that coaching job. Seeing it all wrap up this year is going to be hard, but I'm ready for the season to start. I'm excited to get my senior year underway.
So you guys have had very tough practices throughout the summer. You guys have made it a very big commitment to make sure everyone's showing up. Has there been anyone that's really flashed for you?
I think our offensive line, honestly, is, I'm not just giving the typical quarterback answer, I'm being honest here. I think the offensive line is really, a lot of guys have stepped up and played a huge role. We got a new O-line coach, Coach Smith, who's done a great job with our guys. I think our O-line is going to be the strong suit of our team. I think they've had a really good camp, 2 really good scrimmages. I think they're the reason why this train rolls. So I think the whole line as a whole, Jack Fielding, our center, our 2 guards, Mark Gauss and Alex Birchmeyer, who's a freshman, our tackles, Tyler Smedley and Chaz Allison. I think they've really come together as a group, and they communicate well. They bust their tail every day. They take no plays off. They really take pride in our team, moving the ball down the field, and they're the real reason why. We got great receivers, we got good running backs who can make plays, but the reason why we move is because our O-line.
Has there been any like underclassmen that have stood out for you?
Alex Birchmeyer, obviously a rising freshman who'll start at right guard for us. He'll have probably 50 Division I offers after the season.
Is his brother
John Birchmeyer,
the incredible wrestler?
Yep.
All right. I saw a video of him doing a flip once, and that was shocking.
Yeah, so that family's got a good bloodline.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about you, that the dad's the coach and the 2 sons are the quarterbacks. So.
Yeah. And then Isaiah Lamont, another underclassman, he's a rising sophomore. He'll start a receiver for us. If we needed him to start both ways, he would. He'll be one of the best players to come through Broad Run. So I'm excited to watch him play in his first varsity start against a great opponent. But I know he's ready for it.
It's your first camp and your first season without guys like Ryan Gorey, Alex Solano, and Luke Lindenfeld are there. How are you going to deal with that?
It's tough because those are 3 of my best friends. I've known those guys, especially Luke and Ryan. I've known those guys since 1st grade. Play football with them every year. Alec, obviously, I met a few years ago. Still one of my best friends. So it'll be tough. It was tough just looking around the field and not having some of those guys there, because I've played football with them for 9-10 years now. So not being able to see them every day and just go through the hardships of football with them every day was tough, friendship-wise. But I think we've had a lot of guys step up and take on their role as their replacement. So I think the guys who stepped up have done a really good job.
Out of the guys that have returned from last year, who's really been making an impact on you in camp that makes you think that they could take another step forward?
Oof, I think a lot of guys, honestly, we return a lot of starters, and I think the good thing about our team is our starters are the hardest workers and are the people who push people the hardest to make the younger kids, grasp our culture of hard work. I think that was our biggest mantra for this offseason, is just to keep building this culture that the seniors, when we were freshmen and sophomores, have built for us, of instilling the hard work and dedication. I think we've done a good job of that. I think the whole senior class has worked really hard, and I think every single one of us is gonna, I think every single one of our seniors will be making impacts on Friday nights.
Is there something more important to you about instilling that culture now, since you're a senior and you're going to be gone and you want to see this tradition of greatness continue?
Yeah, well, regardless of who you are on the team, role, bench, starter, you're a senior, all of our seniors, we are being watched every day, no matter if you are the starting O-lineman or you are the starting receiver. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like you are watched by everybody in the program because we've been here for 4 years, so we know how things go, what coach wants from us. So I think we've done a good job of, you know, getting the younger kids, the rising sophomores, the rising freshmen who are very talented, just accustomed to our hard work and, you know, coming every day to the weight room. I mean, we lift every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, we don't lift after school. We lift before school. So I think that really weeds out the kids who aren't dedicated. And we still had 75 kids show up every single day to our weight room in the morning. So I think that was cool. And I think our junior class does a great job of instilling that because they're upperclassmen now too. I think they do a great job of instilling that hard work. And I think that's what makes our season so successful is we know how to push and we work hard and throughout the offseason. So I think that's something we pride ourselves in.
You guys had a very successful season last year, but it ended in heartbreak as you guys got blown out by your rival Stonebridge 35-6. You got another matchup with Stonebridge this year. You guys are down to 4A now, so you don't get more matchups with them in the postseason, but you get that one matchup near the end of the year. What are you thinking?
I'm excited for it, but, you know, right now we're worried about Tuscarora, and then we'll worry about Brook Point, and then we'll go on from there. We'll worry about week by week who our opponent is, and we'll take it from there. Once week 10 rolls around, we'll be ready for it, and we'll be excited. What does
Stonebridge do that makes them such a difficult matchup for you guys?
Well, obviously their offense is hard to defend. Just they run the ball well. Then their defensive line is traditionally really good, so they bring a lot of pressure and they do a good job with their blitzes and stuff. So that's always the hardest thing playing against them is the amount of pressure they can bring.
And so, looking at your guys' offense, I've been watching a lot of tape, and it looks like a very modern NFL offense. You look at a lot of these teams that play here, and sometimes it looks like they're playing football from the 80s. But you guys, I mean, I'm seeing it's a spread offense. There's jet sweeps, there's options. You guys are almost always in the shotgun. Is there some place that you feel like this offense is inspired from, or do you feel like it's just evolved over time?
I think it's evolved over time. You know, my dad came over from Stonebridge with the single wing offense in the first few years. They ran the single wing here, and I think just personnel wise, we just moved to the spread with the personnel we had, and then this is like our 7th year in the spread, so I think we've developed a lot, gotten a lot of ideas from places, and I think we've done a good job of adapting every single year to, you know, what our strengths are. But I think, you know, when it's all said and done, we don't change much year to year, but we just add wrinkles. So I think we do a good job of, you know, everybody knows the offense because we run it freshman level, runs at JV level, varsity. So we run the same offense every year, just add wrinkles. So I think what makes our offense explosive is we can do multiple things because we all know our responsibilities. So I think that's what is our best part of our offense.
Are you guys, when you and your dad are watching football and you see something that was a big play, is someone there with like a notebook writing down, oh man, we got to add that in and try installing that? Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
Has there been anything recently that, or like in previous years, that you've noticed that you see as like a heavy part of your offense now?
No, not really. We get a lot of our stuff from we'll get ideas from places, but I mean, most of our stuff's pretty it's not like high tech offensive stuff. It's just we execute well. But we do get ideas from places and we do put those things in, but I think most of our offense is just, you know, the basic stuff. We just execute well, which makes us have a good offense.
So looking at just like your formations and your personnel, you guys are always in the shotgun.
Yep, always.
You guys are either
we take a knee.
Right, and you guys are doing a lot of that these days. You're in 11 personnel, you're in 10 personnel, or you're in 0 personnel. That gives you a lot of options to throw the ball to, or gives you a lot more playmakers, but it also puts you as a quarterback. You've only got those 5 guys protecting you, maybe 6 if you've got a running back or a tight end in there. At the same time, I mean, you have those options, but now you feel a little bit less secure. How do you balance that knowledge?
I'd rather be an empty. Yeah. Because I trust the 5 guys up front to get the job done. If they're blitzing, we got somebody wide open. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we have the athletes and receivers to be able, if they want to play straight man, we're going to get open. So if they want to bring 6, we get the ball out quick enough. So I trust those 5 guys up front. We've done a really good job this year of pass pro stuff. So I like empty because we have to throw the ball. So that's fun. But I think they do a really good job. So I don't get phased back there. I trust those guys.
I mean, in empty, you guys aren't just throwing the football though. I mean, you get the QB draw so often. Is that you calling your own number, or is that coming from the sideline?
It depends. It depends based off what we see.
So how much freedom do you have at the line of scrimmage? To change the play, to audible?
I have all the freedom until it doesn't work, if that makes sense.
And so how did you, I mean, that obviously comes with being comfortable with the offense, right?
Yeah.
So when did you start seeing that shift for you where you weren't just reacting to what the defense was doing, you were attacking now?
Well, so I've been around this offense for a long time just because I used to signal for the varsity team when I was in middle school. So I knew every play. I mean, I've known every single play for years now. So I think the shift really came probably at the end of my sophomore year. My freshman year, I was lucky enough to get reps on varsity. I mean, obviously I was not called upon too often. I threw a few balls a game, but I got to experience what defenses would run. And it was more of a mental year for me. Physically, I mean, I threw a few screens and a few slants. I didn't do too much. We had a guy named Mitch Griffis who was pretty good. So my job was not very difficult. But that was a good mental year for me. I got to learn a lot in practice, being on the varsity team. Learn how defenses will play. We had a really good defense that year, and we've always had a really good defense. So it was good to learn. But I think that shift happened at the end of my sophomore year. I think I started watching a lot more film and be able to recognize things, and I started having the freedom to check us in and out of plays when I felt needed. But obviously those checks are gone over throughout the week with my dad. You know, we'll be sitting at the table, just if we get this low check here. So it's not like I'm just checking whatever I want. He gives me the checks. I have the freedom when to check them. So it's not like I'm just changing everything to verts. So, but I get, if we talk about the checks week to week, whatever he wants me to check in, and he trusts me to be able to make the right checks. But I usually don't check in anything he doesn't let me check into. So
has there ever been a time where you made an audible and it went badly?
Yeah.
So what's that conversation like when you get back to the sideline?
You know,
I'm guessing a lot of cursing.
No, that's the worst part, honestly. It's not even the cursing. It's just like, I wish he would yell at me. Sometimes it's more just like the look. I'm just like, oh.
It's the, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So that's the hardest thing. I'm just like, dang.
Damn.
So I hate letting my team down, the coaches down, especially him down. So that's tough. But usually, if I make a check, he knows I'm doing it confidently. So it usually doesn't backfire. Assignment, I mean, it's backfired when I throw a pick before, but that's not because the check is just a bad throw. So sometimes he gets upset, but usually he trusts me.
So your dad's the coach, your brother's on the team, you're the starting quarterback, obviously. How do you balance where not everything becomes about football?
Well, I mean, we have a football family, obviously. I think we do. I mean, when we talk about football at home, we talk about football at home. Obviously, during the season, it's a lot more because that's our job. But I mean, it's very easy to just talk about whatever we want at home at the dinner table. So I don't really think, I don't know. I think just conversations come naturally, like with anything. We can talk about whatever. I don't think it's too football based often, but when it's time to work, we go to work. But when it's dinner time, it's family time. No football.
Family time. You're bigger than obviously like me, but like for quarterbacks, you are considerably smaller than most. You're 6 feet 190 as you listed on your huddle. Is that accurate, or is that you? No, what are you actually?
5'10".
5'10". You take a lot of hits. I mean, you're a mobile quarterback. We talked about you going into empty personnel a lot. It's not a lot of protection, and you're scrambling a lot. How do you deal with, the balance between wanting to fight for every yard and then having to preserve yourself so you're not getting injured?
So obviously, I'm a competitor. I want to get every yard I can. But if it's 3rd and 10 and I gotta get a first down, I'll get a first down. If it's 1st and 10 and I can get it to 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 2, I trust our offense to get those rest 3 yards. I don't need to get the extra yard, take a hit. So I think sophomore year I did a good job of protecting myself. I think last year I didn't do a great job protecting myself, and I was pretty banged up towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Took a lot of hits. So I think this year I need to really be smarter about that because we're looking for a long season. So I need to protect myself a little better than I did last year.
Were you working with Ryan on how to do the perfect slide?
No, I don't think he's a great base runner. I think he hits it in a lot of singles for him.
And then one of the most interesting things for me about football is the relationship a quarterback and receiver have. You obviously last year had two incredible receivers in Luke and Romy Minor. How'd you develop that relationship? Obviously with Luke, you've known him since first grade, so there's that friendship, and there's also that knowledge, like, if I do this, you're gonna do this. But with Romy, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, I've known Roman for a long time.
Yeah.
We actually played football together in 8th grade. He was on my 8th grade team. And then we throw routes 2-3 times a week throughout the year. So just developing that chemistry was huge. And watching a lot of film together, like breaking down film, a lot of meetings. We have a lot of meetings with our wideouts. Like me and the wideouts meet a lot. So, we'll pull up film from practices and stuff. We'll draw stuff up on the whiteboard. So I think just developing that chemistry together is what makes it so special, I mean, obviously he's a tremendous athlete, so it's really easy to throw him the ball and let him go make a play. So that's easy on my part. But when we can be smart and make defenses have to choose what they want to defend, that's harder. And then when we want to go make a play, he can do it. So I think we have the best of both worlds there.
When you're scrambling, how much of it is just backyard football and how much of it is you guys have trained for that situation where you're out of the pocket and your receivers know exactly where to be? Yeah,
so we actually have scramble rules with our receivers, and it's really pretty universal. I mean, really everybody has a scramble rule, so each receiver, they see me roll out, they all have a different job. So sometimes it's backyard football. Like if you're wide open, you're not gonna so a lot of our rules are, if you're here, you go there. If you're there, you go here. All that stuff. If you're wide open, keep getting wide open. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta change your rule if you're wide open. So some of it's backyard ball, or we're just playing. Everybody get open. Sometimes most times we have the rule.
Has there ever been a time where you and a receiver have been just horrifically off script and off page?
No, because we usually we have a quick whistle in practice. We usually don't take to the ground, but when I scramble out of the pocket in practice, we don't blow the whistle because we got to work it. So even in 7-on-7s, I'll scramble out of the pocket, and we'll still work our scramble drill. So we get that a lot.
How do you balance knowing how long to stay in the pocket and kind of keep it in the pocket and then to move out of there?
Well, I don't like getting hit by big guys, so I see them coming, I just go.
Yeah. And then you guys run the spread offense, obviously. Has there been any concern from college coaches that you're going to have some trouble if they're running a pro type system?
No, that's why I went to Wake Forest. They run the very similar offense to me, so I knew it wouldn't be hard. I knew it would be an adjustment, but it wouldn't be like I have to get under center every snap. So I knew that in that aspect, it wouldn't be difficult learning a whole new offense, which I don't mind getting under center. Yeah. But I think that's why I liked Wake. One of the reasons why, I mean, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons why is because they run a very similar offense to us. We actually have gotten ideas from them, so it's just watching them play a lot. I watch them every Saturday, so we've seen cool plays from them. So I think it'll be nice in the fact that we run a very similar offense to them.
So tell me about the recruiting process. What was it like meeting the coaches for the first time, visits, stuff like that?
It's awesome. It's a really cool experience. It was a lot of. Not everybody gets to go through it, so I felt very lucky. It is stressful, obviously. People think, got all these offers, life's easy. Yes, it's awesome, but it's stressful. At the same time, it's it's the biggest decision I've ever made in my life at a young age. So it was really cool though. Visits were fun, meeting all the coaches were fun, talking football with college coaches was fun. So I enjoyed it, but I knew what I wanted early, so I ended it early.
What was the best experience you had when you visited Wake? Was it like a restaurant or something they took you to that you really enjoyed?
I fall in love with it every time I go. I think every experience has been awesome. Obviously I love it a lot, but every time I go, I'm like, wow, I made a great choice.
Talking a little bit more about the nerdy football aspects, how does play action impact you as a passer?
We actually don't use too much play action. We're more of an RPO-based team, so I think the RPO is a huge part of our offense. I think, it definitely helps because you pick it on one defender. He can't be in two places at once. So I think that allows us to have more explosive plays and pretty much ensures we get positive yards most of the time, just because you're picking on one guy. He's got to make a choice.
So with play action, sometimes quarterbacks try to turn their back to the defense, and that some people like doing that, some people don't like doing that. Where do you stand on it?
Since we don't really run it too much, I'm always facing the defense. But my freshman year, we ran a lot of bootleg, and I did turn the back to my defense just because. When I was handing the ball off on a run play, I was turning my back to the defense, and I wanted to make it look the exact same. So in that sense, I did.
And then, do you see, for you specifically, a dramatic shift in how well you do when you have that play action game?
Yeah, I think it creates I think it puts the defense in a bind. I think it's really hard to defend just in the fact if you can make the run look like it's a run play, really sell it well. I think it's easier to throw the ball just because there's a lot more open field.
All right, so let's wrap up here. What's your favorite movie?
Step Brothers.
Why?
It is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I quoted it a lot with my friends and
Yeah.
Yeah, I quote it quite often.
You got a quote that's PG that you can say? No? All right, what's the hardest hit you've ever been given?
Last year against Tuscarora in the playoff game, we were punting the ball, and my personal protector backed up into me, Big Alec. So I had to tuck it and run, and it's not a run play, so nobody's blocking, so everybody's running at me, and I'm just like, oh crap. So I just ran to the sideline and got 2 helmets, like right. So my right side of my helmet, all the paint chipped off.
Damn. So you didn't get that fixed for the rest of the year, I'm guessing?
No.
Damn. All right. I heard that you wear a Lil Wayne t-shirt underneath your pads. Tell me about the t-shirt.
It's a long white shirt, so if the refs let me have the shirt out of the jersey, I'll wear it. But the refs took away all of our swag this year, so we'll see. It's the same picture of Kobe Bryant holding his trophy with his hand up like that, but instead of Kobe's face, it's Lil Wayne, and instead of the Lakers across the jersey, it says Carter 5.
Where'd you get it?
I don't even know. It was online. I don't know the site. I just found it. I ordered it.
What's your favorite song right now?
Too many.
Too many?
Yeah.
Do you have one song you listen to pregame?
Yeah, I'm Me by Lil Wayne, just because it talks. He's basically singing about how he's just himself and doesn't really try to be anybody else. Tries to be unique, and that's how I like to play the game of football. It's my place to just be myself without being judged. So I like it's kind of just be free, be who I am.
Last question. What's your goal for this year?
State championship.
State championship?
Yep.
And what do you think the team still needs to do to get to that point?
I think one of the right paths is keep working hard every day. Treat every game the same. We got to treat, if we were playing the AYFL Dragons, we got to treat it the same we were playing Stonebridge and Tuscarora. So we got to treat every game the same and use every day to get better.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Good luck this year.
Appreciate it.